G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to the Round 10 review. Hope you've had a cracker of a week. Look, a much better week for myself and the family. No trips to the hospital, which was nice. We're getting frequent 5 points there lately, so that's very much a positive within itself. Again, thank you very much to anyone that has sent through a message or a comment. Does mean the world to me. I still haven't got to them. I've almost finished this thank you video. I'm like 3/4 of the way through, so hopefully that'll be at some stage this week as well. Very delayed, I know, so I do apologise for that. But actually got to watch a bit of footy myself this week, which was nice. Last couple of weeks have just been a real blur. Haven't been able to keep up with any games, but did manage to get to a few this week. So on Saturday, went with my mate Brent. We watched the Adelaide Pies game. Now, my best mate Brent, if you know him, if you've watched the community Swordplay potty, you know he's a very passionate man when it comes to his Crows. Was a shattered man. I tell you what, they got so close, played a ripping game. And if you brought in Isaac Rankin this week, you would have been patting yourself on the back until about the last, 15 seconds of that game where he pinged a hammer. You would not believe it. So extremely bad luck for Rankin owners and Adelaide supporters as well. The Pies just seem to get it done, don't they? Watch my boys just on the TV, obviously being down in Victoria, absolutely demolished the Tigers. And the boys said, oh, don't you get a bit sick of this? You know, we're just winning by so much. I said, no way, could not ever get sick of a 100-point win. I hope that happens to us every week. Certainly won't, but I could, never not get satisfied with a win like that. Feel sorry for the Tigers in a way, but a lot of success the Tigers have had over the last few years, so can't complain too much. So that was great. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the Freo game. Half my team, it seems like, plays for Freo, so I don't know a lot of info about that one. Had Luke Ryan as a VC. Did I take it? We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then on the Sunday, so caught up with Spilsy and George the Goat. He came down from Adelaide, so just absolutely wrapped to catch up with those two legends. Had really nice seats as well. So I was an Essendon supporter on the day because I was sitting right with the cheer squad there. Spills has his own seat that he gets each week. There's I don't know what level member he is, but beautiful seats, a very passionate bunch. Do they like going off at not only opposition supporters, but some of their own players as well? Is it Alwyn Davey? I'll tell you what, he's a whipping boy down there at Tullamarine, and Nick Martin as well. It was like every time he got the ball, it was either going to go pinpoint to a chest or be one of the worst clangers that you've ever seen. So they're very up and down with their love for Nick Martin. Bit of a love-hate relationship with some of the supporters that I was sitting around anyway. But yeah, ripping weekends and great to catch up with lots of the boys as well. But as you see, Supercoach boys, 14 out of 16 leagues, so that's always good. Get out of that. It just doesn't want to allow me to actually get out of this at the moment. Have I frozen? There we go. All right. We're off that. So 4 round score, 24-38, which was pretty nice. I actually left a few points at the door this week, which was a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. We'll go through the team in a minute. Season rank is at a season high for me, 1,884. So I was really keen just to get inside that top 2,000. The goal for me now is about the top 1,000. I'm not too sure what the difference in points is between where I am and the top 1,000, but hopefully I can get there maybe within the next, let's just say 2 to 3 weeks is a bit of a goal if I can keep the green arrows coming. So hopefully I can do that. But yeah, really happy with where things are sitting at the moment. Look, not right up there with the real contenders like my brother Janeth. I reckon he's in the top 300 at the moment. So we'll hear about how he's going in the Swordplay potty this week. Cannot wait to speak with my brother. He's having a phenomenal season. I'll tell you what, I reckon he's got the team and the knowledge to actually go pretty close to going all the way this year. No pressure, Janeth, but yeah, he's having a ripping season. And Spilsy, he's going to come home strong as well. So the Swordplay crew having a pretty solid season this year, which is always great to see. And great to see lots of members of this community as well that are even beating us. So kudos to everyone that's just playing this year. Doesn't matter what your rank is, as long as you're having fun. So yeah, that's it for the intro, guys. What we'll do for this video is I'll quickly go through the side. We'll then take a look at some buy structures as well. Now, I know lots of you have said you've got a pretty similar team to me, you know, maybe 2 or 3 premiums different. So maybe check out the way that I'm setting up for my buys, and that may give you a little bit of advice or some ideas for structure when you're sort of moving forward with yours. Could be very team dependent, this, and my buy structure may be different to yours, but we'll talk about what I'm going to be looking at. We'll then obviously look at some trades for this week. Still not 100% sure. Got a couple of big players in mind, but not sure which way I'm leaning at the moment. And then we'll obviously lock in some captains as well. So hope you had a great week. As we said, guys, let's see how the team is actually looking. Alrighty, Alrighty, let's get into it. So I better start with my trades from last week. Yes, unfortunately, I did trade out Harley Reid like many other coaches out there. The decision was that Reid is at 5. I had my reasons for keeping 5 at the end of the day. A little bit of hindsight here, but if I had gone the other way, there's a lot more points on field there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. In saying that, I did get the great man Dane Zorko into the side, and didn't he perform on debut? That was absolutely phenomenal. Wrap that I've got him in the side now. I really like the look of my forward line with how it currently sits. And the other trade was Blake Howes out, and I got my man Brucey in. I really stuck to my gut. I was really tempted to follow the crowd and go with Sullivan, but at the end of the day, I thought, no, I'm going with my boy. And without giving myself a big head here, it pretty much played out exactly how I thought it would. We said he's a real versatile type player. We saw him play a little bit down back, then on a wing. And then this was a good thing. Huey McCluggage gets subbed out, and Brucey boy gets inside the CBA rotation. So I think he got 5 in the last quarter. So that was lovely to see. I said that he won't be a high accumulator, but he'll use it really well. I think it was 12, 13 touches and only 1 wasn't effective. So I went at 90+% efficiency. So that was really nice about Brucey, and also a good decision maker. You look at those kicks, look at those touches, basically everyone was quality. So big fan of my man Bruce. He's got that DPP status, and I'm worried about Sullivan potentially missing this week. Not through to injury, but maybe a couple of players to come back. So, yeah, glad I went with Brucey at the end of the day. I did put Closey down back because I was really worried about that position in that D6. Unfortunately, he didn't perform like he did last week when I had him on my bench, of course, for that 105, I think it was. So this now concerns me again because Closey just didn't get near it for large periods of the game. And he was playing that wing role. And that's why we don't love the wing role for Supercoach, because there's sometimes you just don't go near it. Then when he switched wings, it literally the ball went on the other side. So it was just really frustrating from close. I reckon about the first 5 minutes, he got a quarter of his touches for the game. So I don't know how reliable he's going to be as an on-field selection from now. So I may need to look to fix that spot up this week. But as a whole, the primos, you've got Ryan, Dacos, Martin, Sheasland, Dale. I was really impressed with on the weekend. It was actually at the match, as you know. And the good thing that I liked about this was rather than playing that mid-forward type role, it was more that mid and then at times dropping behind the ball. So I think that's a much better role than when we see him actually playing that forward time. I'm not sure if he played a little bit of time up there. Maybe he did. But for me, he was majority midfield time and then dropping back, which was really, really nice to see. Martin, I actually got to watch as well in person for the first time, which was really, well, it was frustrating at times. But then you're like, yes, come on, Nicky boy. Got to heap the ball, made some good decisions, made some very ordinary decisions. But yeah, this was okay to get 100, I think, at the end of the day. Now, Liam Shields was actually starting on Nick Martin, then pushing straight up and then matching up on Zach Merritt. So for large periods, this bloke was just sort of roaming free around the joint. So I think it should be a fine pick going forward. I just wish that he could use the ball a little bit better at times, but that's all good. So I was really worried with. I still am worried. I don't know if he's really going to be able to match up with the big boys in the current role, but if he does, spend a little bit more time behind the ball, that could be good. And obviously working his way into that midfield role, I think will be obviously better each game that he plays there. So Shees was okay. Dale had a bit of a lower game this week. I didn't actually get to watch much of this game. So 88, I suppose I'll take it. It's more of a floor type game. That's his lowest score in the last 5 weeks, I think. So that's all good. It's a bit of a floor game. Ryan with the 122. As you can see, I got a little bit greedy here. Didn't take the VC. My rule's like 125, so it's 3 points under. I thought I'm going a little bit safe with Gorney, but lost points there. So a few points left at the table. But again, this is hindsight. I'm not going to get too disappointed with myself. Not like I lost out a heap. Mickey Dacos, a 105. If you look at the stat sheet, you think, how on earth did this, just get a 105? But it was his kicking efficiency. I think it was 29%, I'm going to say, or that might have been at 29%. May push it up a little bit towards the end of the game. But at 29 odd, 30 odd percent, whatever it was, it's not going to get you a big Supercoach score, although he found a heap of it. I think he set personal best. Was it contested? I'm not too sure, but a little bit disappointing. We've all got him, though. That's okay. He's going to be a good captaincy, vice captaincy option, I think, for us moving forward for the rest of the year. Zach Reid, I'm hoping that he gets a game. I'm not too sure if he comes in. I was speaking to a few Don supporters. They want to see him in as soon as possible. Who's it going to be for? Some have said like Laverde type. Kelly can push up onto a wing and maybe get a Davey out. It's not like for like, but yeah, I had a bit of a discussion with a few, not really sure where Reid sits at the moment. I think he's certainly best 22, but do they want to rush him in when Essendon are playing really good football? I'm not too sure. Hall's just going to be a dead pick. I'll just use him as a loop. But Lever did get injured, so look, who knows what's going to happen here. I hope that there's some slight chance. If there is, that would be fantastic. But for me, he's just a little bit dead at the moment. Midfield as a whole, so you've got Sarong, Butters, Bont, Zeret, Walsh, Oliver, Green is your primos. Fife was, again, very disappointing. Butters had a massive last quarter, 16 touches, really got them over the line. That's what we love about Zach Butters, real impact type player. So saved a pretty poor score that he was looking like getting there. Sarong's just so consistent. 118 is one of his lower type scores if you look at his season average of 130. But again, fantastic. I'll take that. Very disappointing here in this middle line. So you got your Bont with a 93, Zeret for a 94, and Walsh with an 85. Now, who's Walsh copping attention from? I forget who it was, but I know that Walshy was, it was James Jordan, wasn't it? Buddy James Jordan. So, and my man Brent as well. Disappointed, obviously, about Adelaide, but he hit a 2,500 plus. He still got Jordan, and he delivered, I think, was a 114. So, stuff you, James Jordan. Just wish I could get out of this Walsh pick. This should be Jordan Dawson. I say it every week. It's stuffed up my bias structure, stuffed up so many things for me. And if I had these extra points that Dawson has made, I think it's now every week on Sam Walsh, I'll be well ahead in the rankings and really pushing towards our top 1,000 already. I think just with that pick, it's that close at the moment. So a little bit frustrating there to get a tag. Also, Zeret, as I mentioned, got a tag. Shields was just going to him. Geez, it was frustrating. As I said, starting on Martin, then just pushing up right onto Zeret. So the fact that he got a 94 was okay. I was really surprised. I think the first quarter he was like leading Essendon for scorers. Only had 3 touches, but a lovely goal as well. Might insert some vision if I remember to do it, because that was beautiful, right behind the goals for that one. So disappointing from the middle line there, but hopefully they bounce back. Bond against Sydney. Does Jordan go to him? I'm really not too sure. Zeret, hopefully he should feast this week. Maybe my VC captain plans. And Sam Walsh against Gold Coast. Well, they shouldn't tag, which is, I suppose, okay, but a hard matchup. Clary with a 124. So this bloke, I think, really did look back to his best. Now, is he going to get to the heights that we know Clary can get to? I don't think so this year, but if these are the type scores that he can produce, a 115 plus type average from here, I'm going to be wrapped with that. So well done, Clary. Great to see you step up. Petraka had a quiet week, and obviously Gorn had a quieter week as well. So great to see my man Clary step up, and I think he's owned by about 50% of the top 1%. Tom Green with a 95. Yeah, mediocre. That's okay, though. I'll tell you what, 487K for this bloke is just, it's so good. You've got to jump on him if you don't have him. You just got to jump on him. So frustrating with that 5, and I started him. The plan was to jump off at the bye. That would have been ideal, but he's such a good player, got a big ceiling. Who's he play this week? Geelong. So they've got a pretty poor midfield at the moment. We saw what Gold Coast mids did to them, particularly Real and Anderson. So, yeah, I think he'll be a great selection for us this week. And Fife, as I said, really disappointing. But the reason, and a big reason why I kept on to Fife, he had the high break even, sub risk, rest risk. We know all this, but I'm really hoping that he can cover for me during the buy. He's got a really nice buy, obviously that DPP status. He's the type of bloke that I think can go on, even if it's a 2-game roll, and almost reset that price and get close to where he was at. So I'm not super worried about Nat Fife, but yeah, I certainly want to move him to the bench as quick as I can. And then we've got a bit of a dead bench here in Graham Garcia and my man Bruce. I've already talked about Brucey, wrapped with him this week. So well done to you, son. Ruck, so Gorn with a 109. Hey, I'm 109. I swear he got like up to 114, 113. Maybe that's why my score went down, because I thought I was on more than that, like a 2440 something, and then I ended up on that score. So that's what it would have been. Last time I looked at this, it was actually 113, 114. I'm sure about that. So 109, disappointing. We thought he'd go so much better against BJ. Hadn't had the greatest history, but there are other contributing factors to that. For one of the games, he was actually playing with this man, Dogger Jackson, a 154. Now, I'll tell you what, I won't say that some people got a little bit lucky, but I know a few that actually, due to the fact that Jordan Sweet was out again, jumped on Dogger. They weren't happy about it either, but at the end of the day, the chef's kiss for that, because we saw a ceiling game finally from this man with a 154. All of a sudden, we look at that season average, it's 104.7. It was like 99 point something. Was it last week or the week before? And I remember saying in one of these videos that it just doesn't look near as good, does it, when you see a 2-figure average? Now he's back to triple figures, and he's been, I'd call him a successful selection for me. We know that he's dropped coin. We know he's been a bit of a low patch, but the way he's been able to cover for me in great times of need has been fantastic. So I was super versatile player in my side. And again, he'll be another great one to be able to cover during those buys as well. Not great when you got Sweet and Jackson there, but maybe Sweet will just go at that buy. And he's a bit of a talking point because at this stage, I was expecting him to be around the 350 mark and would be able to make a move sooner rather than later. But, he had the COVID, then Vicentini was selected ahead of him. Come on, Kenny, what are you doing? In positive news, Vicentini got smashed. So surely Sweetie comes back in this week and makes us at 70K. I know a few people that have jumped off, so I think it's a bit of a bonus if you've still got him. If he plays this week, surely he's got to. If Kenny doesn't, he's absolutely lost his mind and needs to sack the man, I think. Forward line, so Zorks came in. So this was just absolutely fantastic. He's such a pig. It's such a wonderful roll down back. And it's a great joy to me to finally have a couple of my own boys in the side. Supercoach is meant to be fun, and having Zorko and Revel there, really, really good for me. So being a Lions man, this just makes the selection even sweeter. Heaney's fine, 121. Now, we're not seeing those big 140s from Heaney. He's in a bit of a lean patch, but a Heaney lean patch is still phenomenal. So that's all good. He's a must-have. These three blokes here are absolute must-haves in your forward line. Flanders has not gone below the ton this year. I think his low score is, just above 100, 105 or something like that. What a phenomenal floor. I think this bloke, you could almost say, has the best floor in the game. Has not gone below the ton. What a fantastic selection. So Heaney, Zorko and Flanders are absolute must-haves. Jackson, if you've got, and I'll eventually have Livingston back here when Sweet makes his way out. He's just such a versatile player, and I'm wrapped that I've got him because I think he fits really well there at that F4 selection. Darcy Wilson's doing a great job there. Look, a 75 is one of his lowest scores, I think, for around the last month. And if that's a low score from one of your rookies and he's still making a bit of coin, then that's phenomenal again. So well done to Darcy. Sean Darcy, I was so close to actually trading him out. How long was it? 2 weeks ago? Last week before. Then he put up that nice 100 plus. Then I thought, well, we can't trade him again on field for an 84. So brilliant from the young man. Much harder match up against Sydney this week, but we can't trade him out. He's still making money. We'll take a look at some of the break evens in a sec. Oh, and this is the most pleasing. This was the most pleasing thing of the week for me. Don't worry about my man Brucey with his 73, albeit on the bench, or Zorko with the 161. You probably think I was most happy with Zorko. I am wrapped with this, man. Now, I kept the faith while others completely disagreed with me, said, get rid of the dead weight. I said, no, I've got faith in the sexy man. You can see what the title is here, SEXYTONNE, because this man got a 118, and it worked out perfectly for me because it was going to be a bit of an awkward loop here with Garcia coming up, and long story, but I would have had to bench either Fife or Wilson, but with Sweet out at the end of the day, it was just Dogger back up again, and then you got Sexton here, Livingston comes on, and then you get that 118. So 30-plus disposals in a really nice Supercoach role. That's what we love about, the Zorko types and some of these guys down back. They're just absolute seagulls. And Sexton, for me, what a wonderful selection. Now, I said last week that I was a little bit iffy on bringing him in at this price. Still at 277. I think it's hard to trust. You could go there if you want. Oh, it's gut feel for you because I'm looking at a controversial one to bring in this week. Absolute dirty roll, and I witnessed this firsthand at the game on Sunday, so you might know what I'm talking about. But look, we'll talk about him more in the stock market video, but I'd say, well, if you held the faith like I did, or you just weren't in a position to trade him, you had other troubles, well done, good luck, however you want to put it. Just, oh man, this is such a good hold. Love this. And then we get to the unfortunate one. Darcy Jones, so subbed out for an 8 with a hammy. Don't know how long he's out for. So at this stage, I know it's a little bit dangerous here with Livingston and Jones, but keep in mind, I'm hoping Sweet's back this week. Dogger comes here, Livingston's there, and then I can just use him as a loop. He plays the first, second, third, fourth, fifth game. So that means that I can loop him with, so maybe I will work out a loops a little bit later. We'll see how we go there. So that's the team, guys. That is the team. Now, if we go back up the top here, we've got 113,900 in the salary with 17 trades. So we'll quickly look at buy structure, and then we'll look at what changes we're looking to make. So undo changes. No, I haven't done any changes. That's all right. So show buys. So I think for lots of us, this one's pretty friendly, round 12. So you've got Sheasley out there. No big deal. Tom Green, then you got Heaney and Zorko. I was happy to invest into this buy with Zorko and Revel because they'll be able to cover some other tricky ones for me, and I can manage to do that quite easily. So Doug will just come back here. You got Sexton there. Life is good. Life is good for that buy. So no troubles there at all in round 12. Then we'll go to 13, which again, very friendly. You've only got the two teams there. Although I do have a fair few Freo players and premiums. So you got Luke Ryan obviously there. Then you got Butters, Sarong, and Fife, but I can move him to the forwards quite easily. And then you got Jackson and Sweet as well, but not too worried about that. I'll be able to make ends meet there. Then we look at round 14. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one. And again, I keep coming back to this. Sam Walsh should have been Dawson or someone else there. But you are missing one premium down back, which is Nick Martin. Then you've got your three there. So Zerrett, Walsh, and Oliver. And the frustrating thing here is I think Matty Rao's a good buy at the moment. But can I really invest in Matt Rao, particularly when you can't rely on Garcia? I don't think anymore. Hopefully you can with Bruce, but we're really not sure by this stage. And then you've got Gawn, who's obviously out. And then the two Gold Coast boys. Yeah, what's happening with Jones? So that is a bit of a slight concern there in that particular buy. And then we've got round 15. So you've got Dacos and Dale as those two primos that are out. You've only got Bont there in the midfield, not counting Garcia, obviously. And then we've got your Wilson and Darcy. So that's actually a really friendly buy for me. And I could be investing not down back, but I could be investing maybe in the midfield for that buy if I'd want to do so. But at this stage, look, 14's not great, but I think that I'm looking okay. And by 14, you can always make moves and bring in those 12 and 13 players anyway. So that's how the buy's looking at the moment. So we'll clear those buys. And then we'll swap here to the break-even side of things and talk about where I really need to beef up my team. So here you've obviously got your 5 premiums. Really happy with 4. She's not quite sure about. But this is a concerning spot for me. Now, with DPP at the moment, I don't have anyone apart from Graham that can actually play down back. You could go your Sexton and get him down back and change things up there because I'm really happy to have Sexton on field now. I think that that's fine. Or else I could just invest in another premium. So I need one premium down back. I've got the one spot here for a midfielder. As I said, I'd love it to be Matt Rao because I think he's a really nice price at the moment. He was really underscored for me, like 30 plus disposals, 10 tackles, 2 goals, contested. Yeah, I think he was pretty ripped off. I think it must have been the efficiency. I think it was high 60s at the end of the day, but love to get him, but I just can't at the moment. But there's one spot there. So 1, 2, you've obviously got that ruck spot because I'm not keen on leaving Dogger there. Rowan Marshall hasn't even been going nuts lately. Then you've got your Tim English. He's got a high break even at the moment. He should be coming down. I was talking to George about this, Romo versus Tim English. And what George was saying is, you've got Romo, who's just such a contested beast, whereas when English goes up in the ruck contests, and we're not saying he goes in half-hard, but it looks a little bit more half-hearted, not that real, aggro type stuff, but we know what his talent's like, Tim English. So English is probably still the one that I'll look to target here, but that'll be a bit of a wait and see. So one ruckman, Dogger's going to come down, and then there's probably, 2 max. I could even maybe say 1. You've got your 5 and your Sextons here, and who knows what they could produce for the rest of the season, and you can even look to alternate there. Who knows, but I've got some options there. So I'm going to say 2 max here, 3, 4, 5, as low as 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. So at the moment, let's just get the best team on. So you've got Sexton will come on there. You've got 5 there. Yep, that's all good. So this is the best that the team can look. So with the forward line, well, down here at the moment, Henry, Zorko, Flanders, fine with. Wilson, Darcy, Sexton, really fine with on field. I'm really happy here. You've got 5 there, who I'm still going to field. Let's be honest. I'm not going to bench 5. I don't think. Maybe loop him, depending on how we can do that. And then this is probably the one here where I need to really look at this closey position. So that's probably the area that I'm looking to target this week, is this last defensive spot, and just looking to possibly complete it. We'll see how we go. Break even wise, you've got Closey on 31. These guys I'm not counting. Hopefully Reed's back. That'd be really nice. He'll be a bit of a slow burn, obviously, at the start, but he'll make money for us. Obviously, no premiums to get rid of. 5's break even's down to 84. So there's no point getting rid of that 5 for me this week. Graham, you've got that frustrating break even of 15, but the bloke simply isn't getting a game. Garcia didn't get a game last week. That's around the 3 mark. That's okay. Brucey boy, I've just got in, and he's going to continue to make money. So what did he actually make last week? 160. Beautiful. So around the 60K mark. Looking to make around 40K if you can hit, say, 55, 60. That's cool. All right. So I'm not doing anything there. Sweet. I'm just going to keep on. So surely, as I said, he plays and I can ring dog it down. Darcy with a break even to 16. You'd be nuts. Obviously not my sexy man. Jones just hasn't made enough coin, I don't think, for it to be worthwhile. And I'd probably just prefer to loop to try to get the best score here when possible. Wilson's break even's up to a 76. But he's just doing the job for me. Could you say he's almost done the job with the 76? Who was saying Scott? Melbourne. Geez, well, West Coast gave them a flogging, didn't they? So how scared is he of Melbourne? And he'll kill Jack Billings as well. I'm going to hold on to Wilson. So I'm going to hold on to Wilson. Darcy, I've got a couple of players in mind that I might want to get in, but it's who to get out. So I'm going to keep these two, keep him at the moment. Okay, so really, it's the 2 Gold Coast boys, isn't it? In Closey and Graham. Yeah, they've got that round 14 buy, don't they? Yeah, so that's my tricky buy that they've got. All right, so could I not trade it all this week? It's a possibility. What, just bank a couple of trades? The frustrating thing is that you got Closey there with a 31, and he's the type of bloke, like if we look at Closey, I swear, every time I trade out a player like this, they will ton up the next week. So if I trade out Closey this week, keep him 100%. So the bloke's gone 108, 124, 75, all very stomachable, even on field. Then 65, 43, you're getting a little bit worried, all the way up to 105, then back down to a 49. So if you look at, let's break this up into 3 blocks. You've got your 2 blocks, 108, 124, 75 for his first 3. Then we're looking at 65, 43, 105, and 49. So you can't just take the 105 out, but 3 out of his last 4 scores have been below 65, 2 have been below 50. So he's just not reliable for me, and I've got no one else. Like I haven't got a Martin or a Dacos or anyone that I can actually swing back and just get him on the bench. He's the man I'm actually relying on, or if Free comes back this week. So I'm just not comfortable there. So I need to get someone into this spot. I don't have to trade him. I can use DPP, just bring him into the midfield possibly, because I'm not getting rid of any of these 2. Could be a Garcia. But again, he's made a lot more money. He'll be playing. I don't know if I'll have the cash to be able to do what I want to do, possibly with Garcia. Now, Graham, is he going to get back into the side? Well, the way that Gold Coast played on the weekend, I don't think so. I can't see it. How long do we keep on to this bloke with a low break even? Surely he's got to come back at some stage, even when another bloke gets a rest, one of the young fellas maybe. But I just don't think that I can continue to hold when I want to keep my upgrade cadence. People love that word, the upgrade cadence going. That's why I think it's also a risky thing to keep on to trades, because you aren't upgrading your side, obviously. So I think I've come to the point after that discussion to myself and with all of you, obviously, that these are the 2 blokes that I'm going to get rid of because they have the bad buy for me. And Graham's a bit of deadwood at the moment. Close is next sort of cover for. I could go 5, but I'm going to go Closey. All right, so I'm going to trade out Closey and Graham at this stage. And again, my trades do change a lot of the time. Now, the issue is, and this is where I made a mistake, because I was talking about trades on the weekend with Spilsy. And Joe Richards, I think, is going to be a really obvious rookie. So why don't we just quickly search by break even? So what can you see on that screen? Yeah, that's all good. All right, so we've also got Joel Frieger from the Doggies, who's a mid forward. Now, this is a lot better for me. A mid forward would be a lot better for me. You can tell I'm a fan of the DPP because my mid, well, my M8, 9, let's just say 11, have all got DPP. It's forward mid. I'd like to have a defensive mid in there if I could, but I'm obviously just trading these 2 blokes out, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. So you got Frasier there, negative 59 for break even. averaging 64. He plays for the Dogs, though. I don't know a lot about the pick because I didn't watch a match. So I'm going to ask around about Frasier. Probably not one for me to give advice at the moment, but I'm going to ask around, obviously do some research for the stocky. So certainly could be an option here. I like that DPP a lot better than Richards pure forward. Aaliyah didn't play. Dean didn't play. I've already got this sexy man. I've already got beautiful Brucey. McAuliffe, I'm just, he's only getting a game, it seems, because they've basically got a dead team, Richmond. So I'm not going there, particularly at 148 now. Had a slight price change or rise. Chino, Sullivan, no. Peatling, no. Sin played his second game, -27 for a 50. He's a mid only. Probably not. McRae, I just wouldn't go. Swallow's an interesting one that I'll talk about in the stocky. If you look at that 98, you're thinking, oh my goodness, let's look into this. Look at his other scores and it will put you right off. Although a couple being sub-affected, I think. Phillips is going to be one for next week for us. So I only played the one game. I'll really want to start this guy. So 64 bargain basement price, really nice. Hopefully he can get his third game so we can jump on after the second, which would be nice. Hind, you can't trust. He's another one actually that a couple of Essendon supporters mentioned could go out of the side. So yeah, not confident on that. Okay, I'm not going anyone else here at the moment, rookie-wise. All right, so Joe Richards. If I want to get him in, I'm obviously going to have to use some DPP. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky for me potentially. So let's just say I want to get someone up here. We'll need to move a midfielder down, which I'm not really a fan of. However, let's just swap Wilson for now. And let's get our boy Joe Richards in. So 123. So he's got the negative break even of 95. Really like him as a player. Likely type, mature rager. Last year I swear he had DPP, and I thought that he did this year. So silly me. I just found that out recently that he didn't. But performed well in both games. We had that test first week. Well, not much of a test against West Coast. And then he backed that up with a 60, which I think is okay. He didn't set the world on fire, but that's all good with his negative break even. I like his job security more than Sullivan's at the moment. We know that Elliott's out for an extended time. It's about a month. I think I could be wrong. Don't quote me there. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But I think it's pretty much enough time. And there could be other carnage that happens around this for Richards to get a bit of a run at it. So I'm pretty keen on getting Richards in the side. The only issue is that it could mess around with a bit of team structure, but I'll be able to move around things in a sec. So let's just say they get Richards there. We're then looking at this last defensive spot. So I'm going to get away from break even, and can we go at stats? I can go average. All right, so we look at who I could get in as a defensive option. So Ryan Dacos and Sheasel, I've got. This is such an obvious one. Dan Houston. Now, I did do the maths on the weekend, and it was actually with these two Gold Coast players, and I was going around with a heap of different scenarios. But what I remember is that unless Houston absolutely smashes his break even or just has a phenomenal game, I should be right with a fair bit of coin up my sleeve. Houston, tell you what, played out of his skin. 3 goals. Amazing stuff from him. But bugger him on the week that I wanted to get him. So I think this is the obvious one. Now, if you look at these defenders now, Ryan, Dacos, Martin, Houston, Dale, Sheasel, I think that's a pretty strong lineup, to be quite honest. Particularly 1, 2, 3, 4. I really like these 4. Sheasel, I just wish that he was down back. If he was down back, just be a phenomenal selection. And Dale, I think, a little bit of a pod, and we've seen him get on some runs. Does play Sydney this week. Now, this sounds silly, but I'm actually hoping that he goes to someone like a Bont over a Dale, because Dale's much more of a pod for me. It seems like every man, lady, and their dog have Bont. So I'm actually hoping if he goes to anyone, it's Bont. Hey, I'm hoping it's not Bont or Dale. Don't get me wrong. Go to a Richards or someone else, anyone else. But yeah, I've got a feeling it may be one of my boys here. And James Jordan, I tell you what, does a ripping job. He's been a phenomenal take. I don't know why more teams do it. Sydney are the top side. They're happy to do it. Actually, I shouldn't be encouraging this. I'll absolutely shut my mouth there. But look, I think these are the obvious ones here. Your Houston and your Richards. If I didn't get Houston, what other defensive options do we've got? So obviously Yo's out. McGovern, I'm just not going to touch. I haven't been a fan of McGovern's durability, but he's scaling and he's, he got a decent ceiling. He's on when he's on. Andrew McGrath has had a really solid season, but I just wouldn't go there. Clark, he could go as a real pod, got a nice buy as well. Whitfield, I don't want to go there. I think that will be a bit of a scary own. I like this bloke. I do like Nazaya. He's such a talented player. We know that he's got a mad Marvel run coming up. 521,800. I think he's okay from Wanganeen Millera. And I'd have 66K in the bank. Possibly. He's certainly a possibility. Keep going down. Nick Newman, he's a real pot, isn't he? 564. 128, 117 through a 3 and 5 rounder. That's actually pretty impressive. Maybe I should look more into a Nick Newman type as a pod. He wouldn't be owned by much, would he? From the top 1%. Sorry, where's my 1% of sides? Massive pod. I don't think I could go there. Season stats, what's he done? So 93, 107, 56, 76, 88. Poor stretch there. 116, 82, 148, 90, 147. Gold Coast, Port, Essendon, Geelong, Richmond. Nah, look, I'm not going to go there. I don't want to go too far away from the crowd, I don't think. Maxi Holmes could be a decent pod. Sinclair's just not really doing it for me. Maybe with that late Marvel run, but you're just not sure about his role. 553. The Lizard be a fun own. I'm not going there. Hayden Young, no. This is an interesting one. Ed Richards. It's a super pod. My old man jumped on him last week. Very, very happy man. All right, so what's his ownership? Again, a 1%er. So what's he played? 3 weeks in midfield. So 82, 163, 118. Geez, it's a nice role with Liberia. A really talented type player. My man Matty, in the pre-season Dogs podcast I did, Matty Malta, shout out to you, legend. Check out the Inside the Kennel podcast for the best doggies podcast that you'll see. Absolute legend. He actually said if this guy pushes into midfield, he could be an All-Australian. And I tell you what, he was absolutely on the money. This bloke has been killing it, Ed Richards. Disposal count. Tested is nice. He's a super pod. I just can't invest. Can I? Another defender in that buy? Yeah, he's probably out for me because I'll have a third defender there. So I can't actually invest in Ed Richards. All right. There's no one else here apart from, and I absolutely hate this. I don't think I can do it, but it's a week late. And this is why I'm spewing. This is why I'm spewing that I used boosts while I was in hospital. Because if I had a boost last week, I actually would have bought this bloke in because I knew what I was going to be watching live on the Sunday. It is the biggest seagull roll. It was making me sick. Kicking galore, little cheap touches. Damn, it's like he's going to be such a frustrating non-owner. I started with him, traded him out. Same story for lots of people. But this role at the moment is sickening. Now, McKercher is out. I don't know how long for. It doesn't look like, and even according to Sheasley himself, that he's going to go back to that defensive role. I think this is probably much what we've got to expect from Shees, having that majority midfield role. So that leaves Fisher and McKercher down there. And we know that pretty much the two blokes that play this role down back for North Melbourne are going to score well. At 443,000, it does make me sick. He's gone up 64K. It's obviously a week late. But I had to get Zorko in. I wasn't going to change my plans and go all the way down to Fisher when I was so keen on Zorko, and I'm still in love with that move. So I just couldn't do it because in order to get Zorko, I need to downgrade all the way down to a Brucey. Just that boost I didn't have, but it could be Zach Fisher. Now, what I like about Fisher, apart from the role, I just don't think he's the best type player, but it is what it is. It's the role. Is that I've already got Sexton there, so it's a nice little switch. How much will I use the switch? It's pretty irrelevant at this stage, but if one's injured, then it'll obviously be very handy if need be. And the other thing is that could he be the one to almost round out the forward line? So I'm looking at him more as a forward type player and more of a defensive stopgap just to get him in this position. More reliable than the House, the Closey, whoever else I've had there all year. Your Williams type, D'Ambrosio for a while. It's just been a shocking spot for me. Eventually, I think I'd actually be keen to get him up here. Hopefully, as a forward keeper, if the role continues. You've got to remember, you get Dogger that gets down back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 5 with Fisher. And then you've got your Sexton there at the moment, but probably an upgrade depending on what happens there. I'd love to get a Houston, though, because I like Houston's buy. And we saw what he did last week. He's only gone under 100 twice, been a super consistent premium for us, and he's so safe for me. And he's at a really friendly price, what he's been producing this season. Potentially the lowest he could be for a little while. Although do I go the Fish, just knowing that there's value there, his break-even is at 0. Porter a harder matchup, I know, but probably more kick-ins. Oh, look, I could, or I couldn't. I'm obviously just, it really hurts me because just with the Dale move, it was 2 weeks too late. I'm still okay with the move, but there was just so much more value there. If I had have trusted my gut and gone early, it's not about trusting the gut with Fisher. Last week, I wanted to trust it, but I just couldn't do it. Do I just go the value in Fisher? I could see this going wrong, though, because we're paying $4.43 now. If you went last week, the risk was minimized because you're guaranteed to make decent coin last week and obviously this week as well at a bare minimum. So short term, it's worked out well already, I think, if you've got him, unless something disastrous happens this week. So, look, it's either going to be, for me, the Fish or Houston, just for peace of mind at the moment, so my team looks better. I'm actually going to get Houston in for now. But this is going to be a big discussion for me this week. I'm going to be asking the best of the best coaches out there on their advice. We're going to be discussing this on the Swordplay potty. But that's who I'm going for now. I'm not going to go through all the other forward options, midfield options, rucks, because I'll save that for the stocky, because I'll just sort of stick to my trades at the moment, but I will go through all the best options on each line in the stocky. I promise you that this week. And I've been able to get notes this week as well, which is good, and the eye test on players, so much easier than not being able to obviously watch the game. So the way the team is looking from here, so I'm losing my voice already. Ryan, Dacos, Houston, Martin, Shees, and Dale completed defensive line. Then you got Reed. Hopefully he comes back on. Hawk could be just a loop. Yeah, who knows there, but should be dead unless he comes in for leave this week. Then your Sarong, Butters, Bond, Zeret, I'm really happy with there. Not too happy with Walsh. I'm still really happy with Green. He's an absolute monster, this bloke. He'll come back. Just been some super unlucky things happen with Green. Clary at the moment in current form, I'm really liking the look of. So I think for the price that I paid, I'm really happy with this selection. And then obviously need to work on something here. Gorn obviously won't move. Hopefully Sweet makes some coin. Dog, I'm really happy to keep down here. Super happy with these guys. Really happy with these two at the moment. Richard's obviously just come on. So, yeah, I think the team's in a pretty decent spot. 15 trades left with 3 to 4 upgrades. All good with that. And another thing that is nice is you've got your Darcy here, who's, if we just go back, is already now at 368k. That's really nice. Sexton's going to continue to make cash. Hopefully Richards will. This might be dead for a while, or will be dead for a while. Hopefully Sweetings make some really nice quick coin in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That'd be fantastic. Brucey Boy's going up, which is really fantastic. Wilson, he's already at 416, 5 at 357. So I think things are okay, but yeah, we need some of these guys to start getting games. Garcia, for example, still got a low break even. What's that at? It was 3, was it? Or -3. So if he can get another game or 2, he's probably done his job by then. But the handy thing is here, he's got DPP. So he can be used as a loop on 2 different lines, which is really handy. So all good with that. Now, what I want to do here, so this is a frustrating thing. However, Jackson can come back. Livingston goes there. Chuck the, look, just get the better side on for now. But that's just such an easy loop there. And West Coast play the last game again. So Livingston's such a good loop. But that'll be the 2 best guys on field there. But I will be obviously having Livingston there. Bugger it, I'll just, sorry guys, I need to win this, don't I? Have that there. Then Dogger comes on for Richards. So, yeah, good F1 to F4. Then you got Darcy. Actually, I'd like to loop him. So he plays against Sydney. So I'm actually going to, yeah, it works out perfectly. Loop him in Richards this week. And he's playing Freo at Optus. Richards averages 83, got a 60 last week. I'm going to say if Darcy goes 70 plus, 70, would I take a 68? 68 plus, and I'll probably just play it safe and take Darcy's score there. But that's a really nice loop to have because Jones plays that 5th game. So, yep, I would recommend for everyone, if you can, chuck Darcy there as your loop. See how he goes. If it's good, chuck Jones on. If not, then Joey Richards will have to come on field there. But preferably Darcy will be there. You got Gorn, Sweet, which is all good now. Fife and Wilson. So, all right. So if Garcia doesn't play this week, then I think the easy loop is just to loop Fife there for Wilson. So, Brucey boy, we're playing the Hawks. Do I have more faith in Bruce? Who knows? But I think for me, I think this is an easy loop. So you get Fife loop. If he performs well, then do you take him over Wilson? Maybe with that 75, maybe getting a little bit tired. Who knows there? Don't really know a lot of context this game. So maybe that happens there. And it all depends on Garcia. If I have to make a decision anyway, it's going to be, will Fife come up? I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But I think hopefully Garcia doesn't play actually for me this week. So I can take the best score there. That's all good. And then nothing will change here. That'll stay as it is. All right. So quick captains for this week. So you got the Dogs and the Swans in the first game. Don't love the matchups there for Blunt. I just don't know who's going to get tagged, etc. Heaney against the Dogs midfield. Maybe Heaney, but probably not. I might leave that. And then you got Freo Collingwood. So Ryan, probably not after last week. You know, Dacos will probably be a little bit more comfortable with. Or do you go your Sarong? Shouldn't tag, should they? Dacos or Sarong? It's over there. Will it be a contested type game? Both got big ceilings. Maybe Sarong just for now. Just for now. Then we've got Carlton against the Suns. I'll tell you what, Flanders just be such a safe backup captaincy option. I love Sexy Man, but I'm not going him. I wouldn't go that far. Then you got your Ruse and Power. I've just got a feeling Shields may go to Butters like he did Zeret last week, so I'm a little bit scared off there. Maybe just still go there as a vice, just in case. Maybe. Could you go Walsh? Like, they won't tag Gold Coast, will they? But probably not. You could just go as a complete pod. Geelong or Tommy Green against Geelong, GMHBA. Butters, I don't think you'll get tagged. Butters, Blundstone. Let's look at a bit of history. Maybe I'll just go to Green for now. Then you've got the Tigers and Zeret. That's a pretty obvious one, I think, to get in the loop somehow. Whether it's captain or vice captain, 744.35. It's a tight turnaround. Hopefully I'll be right for that. Richmond I haven't got. Hawthorn Lions. The Magician. Zorko. Melbourne Saints. I've got enough faith in Gorn at the moment. Or Clary, probably not for captain. Crow's no good to me. West Coast no good to me. Zorko, Marvel Stadium. They've been tagging half-backs, Hawks? I don't think so. It's not as crazy as it sounds, is it? So, Zeret's probably my ideal captain choice for this week. So if that's the case, I want to try to get him as my VC, and I'll be able to do that. That's on the Sunday, so plenty of time there. Something happens to Zorko. I'd always have Gorn I could go to. Clary. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think I might go Zeret into Zorko. But for my league opponents that don't watch my videos, I'll just keep them guessing with Livingston. That could change as well. So that is it for this week, guys. Trades, captains now. Again, this could be This could be the fish. Please, if you're going to leave a comment down below, apart from a question, I always happy to answer questions I can. And sorry, I haven't been getting to those. I've just been so time poor lately. Sorry, guys, and lots of things going on, as you know. But let me know, would you go with Houston and basically have nothing in the bank, under 10K, or would you go with the fish? And I think I had 120 odd, did I? What would it be? 578, yeah, around that mark. 120, 160. I can't remember what it was. Please let me know, guys, because that's going to be a big decision for me. I do like the look of Houston a lot better. If it optimizes me, what's it going to do? 24.86. So that'd be nice. I'd take that this week. It's going butters into sarong, but yeah, we'll see how we go there. But again, guys, thank you very much for your support. I didn't lose my voice, so time to end the video. Sorry if I did bang on a little bit here, but I really hadn't had the time to really think about this too much. So hopefully that may have helped you a little bit there. If there's, well, I didn't get to many players at all, did I, that I don't own, but for all the big players this week, for the buys, for the trade-ins, for the trade-outs, I'll cover in detail in the stock market video. Hopefully that should be out at a pretty decent time this week. I'm going to get together with my two brothers, Spills and Janeth, tomorrow night to record the Swordplay potty. Anyone that wants to put a question for our Swordplay potty, you need to follow us on X. I put a post out about half an hour before time of recording where people put their questions in. We'll do them live on the podcast. And if you want to get your question in, make sure that you do follow us there so you're able to put your question in. It's just like a quick message there, and we'll do our best to get to it anyway during the potty. Apart from that, guys, all the best with your trade-ins and trade-outs for this week. See you tomorrow night. Stay safe. Much peace, much love. Thanks again for all the well wishes, guys. Family is doing awesome. Appreciate you as always. Cheers, guys. Bye.